when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. You sit up, stretch, and ask yourself
That's cap. We wake up and go to work, gang. We wake up and spark stream, gang. That's all there is to it. Come on, bro.
one question. What should I do today? For 99% of human history, this wasn't a hypothetical. This was
Nah,
every
facts.
single morning for roughly 300,000 years.
300,000
And
years
the
of doing nothing? That's too OD. Because you think about it, bro. It's like 300,000. Bro, you know how long 300,000 years is? That's like, it's like no, it's like that's like 3,000 lifetimes, bro.
answer to that question
Holy.
looked nothing
Imagine
like
living
the
that
life
long.
you're living
That's tough.
right now. Modern humans spend about 90,000 hours of their lives working. That's roughly
That's not going to be me. I'm not going to spend that long in my life working. I'm going to be a millionaire by 30.
1/3 of your waking existence dedicated to a job. But for the overwhelming majority of human history, jobs didn't
Got to go. All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
exist. There was no employment, no wages, no boss, no career ladder to climb. So what did people actually do all day? Let's start with what we know for certain. In 1963, archaeologist Richard Lee conducted a study that would change how we understand prehistoric life. He tracked the daily activities of the Dobeju Hwansi people in Botswana, one of the few remaining groups still living in a way that resembles pre-agricultural human life. He found that adults spent about 2.5 days per week acquiring food. That's
2.5 days a week acquiring food. That's too long, gang. That's too much. That's too long to collect food. Cause you gotta be like, yo, who's on food duty for 17 hours? If you were on food duty for 17 hours, that's bad, gang.
roughly
It's time to
17
lock in.
hours.
I'm not
The
gonna lie.
rest of the time, they did whatever they wanted. And here's the important
But if you're doing whatever you
this
want, that's
pattern
tough,
shows
though.
up everywhere anthropologists look. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Ache in Paraguay, the Martu in Australia. Completely different environments, different continents. Same result, about 15 to 20 hours per week spent on survival activities. For context, you probably work twice that. Now, some of you are thinking, but those are modern people. How do we know ancient humans lived the same way? Fair question.
really
And the
don't.
answer comes from bones. When
Oh, we got nothing
archaeologists
but
compare
bones?
skeletons of ancient humans to early agricultural populations, the difference is dramatic. Farmers were shorter. Their bones show signs of nutritional deficiency. Their teeth were riddled with cavities from grain-heavy diet.
Oh, so they really wasn't eating junk food. They was eating straight good food. That's good. Okay, that's pretty good.
They had arthritis in their spines from repetitive labor, and they died younger. Ancient human skeletons, taller, stronger, healthier teeth, less joint damage. Their bones tell a clear story. They were doing less repetitive physical labor, not more. But the most fascinating evidence comes from something archaeologists found that shouldn't exist if survival was a constant struggle: art. In 1994, explorers discovered Chauvet Cave in southern France. Inside were paintings created roughly
What ancient human race do you think worked out the most? Like, did the most work? I think it was Africans, low key.
30,000 years ago. Horses, lions, rhinos.
And do y'all think, like, ancient humans, like, that we evolved from ancient humans? Like, think about all the other species of ancient humans that died off. That's crazy. I've been thinking about that shit a lot. It's crazy to me.
Rendered with perspective, shading, and movement. These weren't crude stick figures. This was sophisticated art that required skill, planning, and most importantly, time. Someone spent hours, maybe days, deep inside a cave by firelight, painting animals on a wall. Not for
No, you don't. How do you know what? Nah, all right, bro. You must know my whole language. You must know me, gang. You know my what I be thinking about. You know, hey, yo, my bad, bro. You know everything, bro. My bad, bro. I get it, bro. I get it.
survival, not for food, for beauty, for meaning, for something to do. In Blombos Cave in South Africa, archaeologists found 100,000-year-old perforated shell beads, tiny holes drilled through seashells, clearly meant to be strung together as jewelry. The nearest coastline was 20 kilometers away.
I think if you gave an ancient human a phone, his brain will blow up. I'm not gonna lie to you, cause he wouldn't know what to do with it. I'm not gonna lie.
Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip just to collect shells, then spent hours carefully drilling holes with stone tools, just to look good. In 2008, researchers found a 40,000-year-old flute carved from a vulture bone in Germany. 5 finger holes, perfectly spaced. Whoever made this understood music. They
Okay, so that boy playing that Rex Blue, huh? Hold on, bro. That boy's playing like this. That boy's playing like this. Hold on, bro. But I don't know if they actually. I think you think
They understood pitch, and they spent significant time
caveman can
crafting,
actually play
not for
that.
hunting, not for
I don't know.
defense, for music. These aren't isolated finds. Across Europe, Africa, and Asia, archaeological sites from 100,000 years ago onward are filled with evidence of decorative objects, carefully crafted tools far more elaborate than necessary for survival, and items that required hours of focused work with no immediate practical benefit. This is what people did when they weren't securing food. They created. They decorated. They made things beautiful. So let's reconstruct a day. You wake up around dawn. The fire from last night is still smoldering. Someone adds wood. You eat leftover meat or fish from yesterday. Maybe some nuts or berries collected the day before. Breakfast is social. People talk. They plan loosely for the day. Not because they have to, because that's what humans do. Around mid-morning, a small group might leave to hunt or gather. But here's the key.
Mason, you think you think that y'all think that y'all would survive in like the caveman times? I think I would, low key. That's actually pretty easy, in my opinion. Cause it's like all you gotta do is just like cook your food, hunt, calm shit, gang. Calm shit. But then you gotta think about it though. Like imagine all the like if you get attacked by like some crazy shit like a mammoth or like a saber-tooth tiger. That's OD. Not gonna lie.
You don't go every day. If the hunt was successful 2 days ago and food is stored, you might not leave camp at all. You might spend the morning working on tools, sharpening a spear, weaving a basket, scraping an animal hide to make it soft and usable. This isn't work in the modern sense. There's no clock, no supervisor. You do it because
That's just a
competence
regular day for
matters,
them.
because being skilled earns respect, because making things well is part of being human. If hunting happens, it's not the frantic chase you see in movies. Humans are persistence hunters. We track animals at a steady jog for hours until they overheat and collapse. We're the only species that can do this effectively because we can sweat and regulate our body temperature while running. Most animals can't. So we outlast them. The
I think that's a crazy evolution. Like, who thought of that? Who thought of letting us be able to do that? You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy to me. Like, that's just
hunt
crazy.
might take 3 to 6 hours, including travel. Then the animal is carried back and butchered. Everyone eats. And by
Nah,
early
facts.
afternoon, the
You're feeding the fam.
productive part of the day is essentially over. What happens
Now you just
next
chill.
is what modern people find hardest to understand. Nothing.
It was me. What was
everything.
you?
People rest. They
You
sit
not
in the
invent that,
shade
gang.
and
Come on,
talk.
keep it real.
They play with children. They groom each other, picking through hair, reinforcing bonds. They make jewelry from shells or beads or animal teeth. They carve designs into bones or stones. They nap. Anthropologist James Sussman documented that among the Zhuangzi, adults spend roughly 6 hours per day in what he called social time. Not working, not sleeping, just being with other people,
6 hours a
talking,
day?
laughing, telling
I mean, that's like regular though. That's like still modern day. You feel me?
jokes,
Okay.
because in a world without money or police or written contracts, your survival depends entirely on your relationships. If people
True.
don't like you, they don't have to share food when you're hungry. So you invest enormous amounts of time in those bonds, not because it's productive, because it's how humans stay human. Then the sun sets,
That's a good
and
point.
this is when something remarkable happens. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner analyzed hundreds of hours of conversation recordings from the Zhuangzi. During the day, conversations were practical. Who saw animal tracks where? Which plants were ready for harvest, complaints about someone not sharing fairly. But at night, around
So like back then it was really social life back then. There wasn't even no money, gang. You gotta think about that. That's crazy. Like there was no money. Everything relied on each other. Like your life relied on somebody else's like
the
relationship
fire,
with them.
81%
crazy.
of conversations shifted to stories. Myths about how the world began, tales of ancestors who did impossible things, jokes that made everyone laugh, adventures from far away. Weisner argued that this is where human culture was actually born. Gods, spirits, the past, the future. Things
Nah,
you can
probably
only
so. I
think
don't
about
care.
when your stomach is full and you're safe. And people didn't go to sleep and stay asleep the way you do now. Historical records from medieval Europe and
They'll
sleep
probably-
studies from the 1990s
They're probably like dozing off, waking back up, dozing off, waking. They probably had short sleeping time, bro.
confirmed that before artificial light, humans slept in 2 phases. First, sleep for about 4 hours, then a wakeful period of 1 to 2 hours in complete darkness, then second sleep for another 4 hours.
Nah, I say yeah.
So here's what a full day looked like. About 4 to 6 hours securing food or making tools. About 6 hours in social interaction, storytelling, grooming, playing. About 8 hours sleeping in 2 separate phases, and the rest resting, sitting, watching clouds, doing nothing in particular. Existing without needing to justify your existence through productivity. Then, about 10,000 years ago, something changed. Humans in the
What
Fertile
changed?
Crescent began planting seeds and domesticating animals.
They became farmers.
Agriculture. And agriculture is a trap. Once you start farming, you can feed more people. More people means you need more food. More food means more farming. Within a few generations,
BRB? Why is there at
populations
the BRB?
exploded and there was no going back.
Nah,
Because now
facts.
there were too many mouths to survive by hunting and gathering. You were locked in, and farming required far more labor. Plowing, planting, weeding,
farming made
harvesting,
Modern
storing,
day,
defending
made
crops
the
from
modern day
animals and
tech
raiders. The
society.
skeletal
Facts.
evidence is unambiguous. Early farmers worked harder, ate worse, and died younger than the hunter-gatherers who came before them. But the
Because it
population
didn't stress
kept
They stress
growing,
too much.
and with larger
They stress
populations
way
came
more than hunter
specialists.
gatherers did.
Toolmakers, potters, weavers, inventors, then soldiers, priests, administrators, and eventually jobs, employment.
Oh, chill.
The idea that your
Big
time
word.
belonged to someone else in exchange for resources. By the time we built cities, the original human lifestyle was gone, replaced by schedules, obligations, the need to work most of your waking hours just to survive in the system we created. Today, you spend 90,000 hours working. Your
That's
ancestors
trash,
spent
bro.
way less. You sleep in one block and call waking up at 2 a.m. insomnia. They slept in 2 phases and used the middle hours for reflection. You spend your life chasing an illusion of greatness, achievements, wealth, and success by standards society invented. They woke up
Nah,
every
facts.
morning already free, already enough, and at peace with nothing to prove to anyone. They didn't need to become successful. They were already living the life you're working your entire existence to retire into. You make art if you can find time
Mhm.
after your job. They made art because they had time, and that's
They
what
had too
humans
much
do.
time.
We're not a different species, but we live
Why
so
is it so
differently
low?
from how humans lived for 99% of our existence that we might as well be. We traded freedom for food security, leisure for population growth, time for productivity, and most of us have no idea what we gave up because we never knew it was there.
True. Hey, W video.